Dear friends, I'm Operator Starsky, and today is day 1069 of Terror Russia's desperate invasion of Ukraine. So desperate, so the Russians now deliver handcuffed personnel to the front lines. We'll talk about it today, as well as the frontline updates, recent strikes on the Terror-Russian territory, a DPRK officer that became good in Kursk, and a new sabotage that took place in the Baltic Sea. This is the frontline focus. Let's roll. 166 attacks were recorded yesterday, and last month we saw approximately 200 plus daily attacks on average. Most attacks, as usual, took place around Kupiansk, Liman, Kramatorsk, Toretsk, Pokrovsk, and Novopavlivka. In the Kursk Oblast, 7 Russian-North Korean attacks were deflected. Again, as we can see, the number of attacks conducted by the Russian terrorist forces is much lower than previously, and I think that this can be explained by lack of supporting armored vehicles. It was discovered recently that the terrorist forces have burned majority of their MTLB vehicles that are used to deliver personnel to the front lines. For example, OSINT researchers noticed that in January this year, Russians only lost 4 MTLBs. According to OSINT, there are almost 1,400 pieces of footage confirming that those vehicles were destroyed. Today, as the Russian stockpiles keep depleting, in most cases the terrorists rely on their light trucks, sometimes customized to add some more protection. Also, please don't forget that Terror Russia is a serious military superpower that aims at fighting against NATO someday. The guys on the ground in Kursk reported new details on the North Koreans. They seem to have much higher motivation than the Russian terrorists, and there were already numerous cases of the DPRK soldiers self-exterminating using hand grenades in order to avoid captivity. They often pick the bodies of their combatants, but despite that, during the recent failed attack on Ukrainian positions not far from Maloloknya village in Kursk Oblast, Ukrainian defenders managed to capture a body of a North Korean officer. It is suspected that he was a commander of the DPRK Special Force Company, according to ID that was also found with him. So far, we have a footage provided by the Ukrainian journalists, and it was also reported that at least 2 more North Korean officers were eliminated during that combat. Regarding the Terror Russian personnel, a fresh footage shows a bunch of glorious Russian warriors heading to their positions in handcuffs. In fact, this video addresses 2 issues in the Terror Russian army. That is the issue of the non-existent morale, as well as the issue of the Terror Russian command that treats its soldiers literally like cannon fodder. But again, according to the Russian standards, it's a common thing. They believe that everybody must die. The General Staff of Ukraine reported that the stockpile of the Terror Russian Shahid drones was hid in the Orlovskaya Oblast of the Terrorist Federation. According to Ukrainian intelligence, approximately 200 drones were destroyed in the underground facilities. Intelligence reported that the stockpile of thermobaric warheads detonated, causing significant damage. And despite 200 drones sounds like a big number, but generally Russian terrorists use that much drones within only 2 or 3 strikes. But still, it's a good news for Ukrainian citizens. Also, it was reported that the Russian oil refinery in Ryazan has been hit once again last night. The Russian media traditionally reported slight smoking in the area. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. The special military operation is going according to plan. At this point, there's still fire, a brightly glowing slight smoking, so to say, taking place in the Russian refinery. And I'm sure that it's not the end, considering Ukraine's giant stockpile of approximately 30,000 drones ready to roll. Swedish authorities launched an investigation due to another case of undersea cable being ruptured in the Baltic Sea. Took only a couple of months between the warning of possible sabotage issued by the US intelligence and the actual cases of this sabotage taking place in the European waters. This time a Latvian cable was ruptured. The authorities detained another Russian vessel heading under a flag of convenience from the terror-Russian dock Usluga. The cable ruptured in the Swedish territorial waters and it belonged to the Latvian TV Radio Communication Center LVRTC. In my personal opinion, the ships heading from the Russian docks should not be allowed into the European waters at all, just like the EU did to the Russian airplanes. Why is that? Well, because Russia is an international recognized terrorist regime. Please always remember that, and I frankly don't see any reason why the terrorists should be even allowed to share the same space with the civilized world they hate so much. Dear friends, please subscribe to stay informed about the most important updates and share this video to help Ukraine be heard. Traditionally, I will see you in the commentaries. I'm Operator Starsky. As always, be safe. Before I forget, please check out Weapons of War, a new section that we launched last Friday dedicated to the weaponry used by the Ukrainian defenders. Please leave your opinions in the commentaries to let us know what you want to learn about in the future videos. Goodbye.